Okay, so I will be starting a friendship challenge. And I genuinely have no idea how this is gonna go. Oh my gosh. It will the whole idea here is like 75 75 hard, but the soft version and for friendships. Um and if y'all want, you can join me. You can join me if you'd like. But I am doing this for public accountability. I have low key, I haven't shared this publicly with anyone really yet, but I have another 21-day challenge I'm doing for myself with language learning where I'm posting every day on an Instagram account, which I will not mention here, but I'm practicing my speaking every single day. And I saw how everybody responded to the friendship videos that I have going here that I posted here on YouTube. And I said to myself, Chelsea, you could do a friendship challenge. And you already are like this is something you're already working on in your life. And you're already using public accountability in other areas of your life. So go for it. And I'd already known about, I mean, everybody, like I think 75 hard and 75 soft have like been a thing. Um, but I saw a creator on Instagram come up with 75 fluent as it relates to language learning. And I was just like, ooh, this is really cool. And I had saved it at the time. Like I saved it on Instagram to come back to it, but I never did. And I probably could do that after I'm done with these 21 days of speaking. We'll see. In any case, I saw her do that, and I saw that person do that, and the challenge is called 75 Fluent, and I was just like, yeah, I like this idea, and so everything kind of coalesced when I saw like how public accountability was helping me, how I was already working on my friendships in my life anyway, and then I post about friendships on YouTube, and everybody's like, yeah, we want to hear about this. So I figured, yeah, I could do this, and y'all can join me if you'd like. Because for me, um, I'm not in any way an expert on friendships. As a matter of fact, I have not, as I've shared in other videos on this channel, I have not necessarily been the one to have the most quality friendships or the most friendships, period, in my life. And so I really have been wanting to work on my friendships, and I've been making an effort to people, to outside, and to build connection, right? And this for me is a really good way of formalizing it and a really good way of giving myself a system to follow, and a process where I can be very intentional about the actions that I'm doing and reflect on how I'm growing. And quite frankly, y'all, like really look at and see, okay, at the end of 75 days, Chelsea, what is your friendship life look like? What does your social life look like? How do you feel about the relationships that you have in your life after dedicating 75 days to really, really working on this? Um, and it doesn't, my whole goal here is I didn't want it to be hard because that is one of the reasons why I have not always done a great job of being the best friend that I could be and prioritizing my relationships in the ways that I would like. And I know that we all say life gets hard, life starts to life, and we all know what that feels like. We all know what it feels like to not have the energy to talk to a friend in the moment, even if, especially for us introverts, even if we are very aware that talking might help, we're just like, look, I don't want to see people, I don't want to talk to people. I need to just be by myself right now. And I tend to default to that as a sort of excuse, I think. It's just my comfort zone, and it's what I know very well. And it's the easiest answer for me to give. And so it's the answer that I have always given. And I'm recently trying to really break that trend. And I think I'm doing an okay job, but I really want to dedicate more energy to this. Also, considering the fact that I think even the friendships that I currently have, there is room for depth of growth. I'm thinking of one particular friend who I went to see. Was this year before last or the year before that? No, it was 2024. Yeah. Because this was I saw her in September actually. And then the October debacle happened that I've already talked about on this channel. Um, so not debacle, awakening. Let's call it a different, more appropriate word. Um, so yeah, when I saw her in September of 2024, I remember the conversations that we had and how we talked about how we were building our lives, and I think it was the richest, most meaningful connection that we had had in years. And we are high school friends. We are sisters at this point. Like we are ride and die, right? Ride and die. And yeah, I love her. I love her with my whole heart. Um, and it was really, really cool to connect on that level. And I think it was because we were in person that made that connection so easy. Like I was staying with her for, I think it was like 3 or so days. And so we had time and we started talking about what we were working on. And it was a really beautiful, lovely time. And I haven't had that level of connection with her in the same way since, not the same way, right? And it's not something that we regularly talk about. We don't regularly talk about our goals and what we're working on. And like, that's not a thing. And it's so very easy for friendships to become that, where this is your person and you are like, well, this is my person. And I know I can call them up anytime and they're there for me and they love me. But do we know one another? Do we deeply connect with each other? Do we feel known? And I think that's something that like I want to work on in my friendships, is not just love that is um a sort of safety net that feels like I can always turn to this person and they will be there for me, which is a beautiful kind of love and a beautiful kind thing to have in a friendship. But I also think there's room for I am known in this relationship. Um, and I am known in many facets more than just the friend who can be trusted to be leaned on. And I think I want to give myself the opportunity to be seen and known in that way by my friends. And what that then means is me putting myself out there because, again, I am the only, like, I can only control me and I can only control my actions. And so letting it be known in my friendships that, like, this is who I am, this is what I'm working on, these are the things that interest me. Um, let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about that fascinating thing that I just found out. And be known, be seen for my interests, my hobbies, my capabilities, my concerns, my insecurities, my questions, and be known for those things, not just as the sister that I can always call on regardless, which is, again, a beautiful thing. I'm not negating that. Um, but yeah, more the full human Chelsea, right? So yeah, I think that's why I want to kind of do this challenge and be more intentional about where I'm placing my energy in terms of my friendships. And I've designed this to be very low lift for myself because I know that my comfort zone is I don't want to talk to y'all as much as I love you. I'll just be real here. I would just be real here. I, more often than not, have defaulted to in my life, phone is ringing, I look at it, and I don't answer. Because I'm like, do I have the energy to talk to you right now? No, I love you. I don't want to talk to you. And instead of even it would be better if I even let it ring out and then actually like sent a message and said, "Hey, I saw you called. sorry for not picking up. I am not feeling talkative right now, so I'm sorry I didn't answer the phone, but let me know what's going on and I'll circle back as soon as I have the energy to do it, or something along those lines, right? Like actually just communicating where I'm at as a human being. Um, I just don't default to doing that. Because I have all these noises in my head, right? Like, and I think this is why anybody who does this will understand what I'm talking about. What are they gonna think? Are they gonna think I actually don't want to talk to them, or I don't like them, or will they be offended, or are they gonna like think I'm a bad friend, or are they going to not want to tell me what is going on? Because I want to know what's going on. I just don't want to talk to you about what's going on. And I want to be there for you, but I just don't want to be on the phone with you. I don't think those two things can happen at once, but that is how I feel. And like being there being a sort of story around letting myself own where I'm at in front of my friends when it has to do with being there for them. Like I haven't done that consistently. And so even giving myself the opportunity just to do that, right? To be more honest in my friendships. Like I think the idea here, y'all, is I really just want to have richer relationships with the people that I am friends with, to let them know that they mean something to me. Because also I have been, I mean, I don't know how much y'all have experienced this, but in my personal life, I have had several people around me had people die. Um, it's almost like every other week we're hearing of some death of someone. Son, mom, sibling, friend, it's everywhere. Um, and just the other day, even I had a matriarch, someone who's been a matriarch in my life. She was 104. She died a few weeks ago. And thankfully, I had seen her recently and had loved on her, talked to her, been with her. But I'm just looking around at all of this so many people transitioning from this physical life. And I said to myself, I want people to know how much they mean to me before they pass. And that means seizing every single day to share that appreciation as much as I can, as intentionally as I can. And as I even look at the way the world is going and everything that's happening with AI and everything that's happening with so much power being leached away from the population and pulled upstream towards the 1%, I think about the fact that community and humanity, like the nature of us being human in a big way, is, I think, what will help us through this time. Kind of like how, like, humanity, like just being at our core human beings, helped us through COVID. I think a similar thing here. Um, and I think in that vein, me connecting with and investing in the village in my life is a meaningful and supportive pursuit for myself, but also for the people around me. Um, because it's not life does its thing so intensely for everybody who doesn't have ownership over their time and their income. So you're not an entrepreneur in some way. Um, you sign over a majority of your time every single day to your job as an employee, and you sign over your income producing capacity to a company. You trust them with that. And more often than not, that trust that you place in them to dedicate that time of your life to them and to hand over that capacity to create income to them, they violate. And so it's very hard, I think, and I'm recognizing my privilege here when I say this, it's very hard for folks who are employees to make a ton of space to do things like this. to host people, to create friend groups, to coordinate like social activities. It's a lot. And I mean, don't get me wrong, people do it. But when you have a job and you have friends, I mean, and you have like kids, a partner, kids, especially kids going to school with all them school activities, or them in kindergarten and you're getting sick all the time. Like there are so many things that can come at you in life that can make your intentions to show up in your relationships not be things that you follow through on. And I think I have the privilege, because I have control over my own income and over my time. I have the privilege of having that control and being able to say no. Like, actually, I'm gonna take some time off work because I've already made what I need to for the month, or because the system is already running to make what I need for the rest of the month. And I'm gonna spend some time with my people, or I'm gonna plan this event for my people, or I'm gonna host a hangout or host a dinner or something, right? I just think that it can be really difficult to do. And a lot of people have that intention, but it's hard to follow through. And so, me as an entrepreneur, I want to make space for that where I can, and to use my privilege in that way how I can. And I think that's a big part of what this challenge, I hope this challenge will be for me. All of that, everything that I just said. Really, really investing and being intentional about my village, making sure that people know what they mean to me in this hard time. And I think, as much as I can, creating connections and creating community and like belonging um within the world that I live. So how the challenge will work is it's gonna be around, like, I think 75 days is around 13 or so weeks, thereabout, if I'm remembering correctly. And so it's gonna be 75 days. Let's just say 75 days. Um, I'm gonna do 4 days on and 3 days off because, like I said, I want this. Well, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone here, so I'm not trying to go all grit and discipline and like push on this. That's not my goal here. At all. Um, I really want something that I can sustain. I want to actually habits that build habits and tendencies and defaults of connecting with my people, and being with my people and being for my people in a way that I have not before. So me doing this doesn't mean that I will continuously maintain this, but what it does mean is that I will rewrite my default, I think, from what it has been, which is see the phone ringing, real comfortable in my bed, maybe reading a book or watching YouTube or something, and being like, I don't think I'm going to answer it. And I'm not going to message you and apologize for not answering it either. Not that I necessarily have to apologize, but it would be, I think it would be honorable and considerate, as me being a friend to a friend, to be like, hey, I saw your message. Not feeling up to talk right now. That's why I didn't reply. But I do want to know what's happening with you. So send me a voice note or a text, if that feels good for you. And I'll get back tomorrow or in a couple days or something like that. Like, that is my default right now of not even doing that. And I think I want to change that default. I want to change that default away from distancing myself to connecting with people as much as I can and as much as my energy allows. So it's going to be 3 days on, 4 days off. I am going to have 3 daily activities that I do. These are really low lift, whether it is reaching out to one person, responding to one person's like WhatsApp stories or something, like some tiny, right? So 3 daily activities, 2 weekly activities, plus a weekly reflection, and then 1 monthly activity. And I just commit to doing that for 75 whole days. The weekly activities are obviously a bigger commitment than the daily activities. And then the monthly activity is the biggest commitment of all, which is why there's only one. And my rule is like it doesn't matter if I skip a day or something, I can restart. So this is not like 75 hard where you will have to start all over again. That's not the point here. The point here again is to rewrite the default more than anything else. Um and I'm not I do I don't feel like I'm necessarily like fixing something that's broken. Um it's not that like what I have right now is so horrible and not working for me. It's more that it's not aligned with where I want to go and the kind of life that I want to live. And so what would it look like if I changed that? Right? Um so yeah, and the irony of this this whole thing, side note y'all, is that I absolutely 100% use Claude to come up with this. We all know the argument by now that AI is like not driving us towards our humanity. AI is making us less human. Bro, I can't think of a more human thing than a friendship challenge. That is deeply human. So the irony here is like the thing that is being used to replace our humanity in such a big way in this moment is helping me reconnect with and deepen my own. Um so yeah, new habits being rewritten here, new defaults, the identity shift of seeing myself as someone who starts things and hosts people and is a connector and is deeply known. Like what does that version of Chelsea look like? In 75 days, I'd be curious to know the answers to that question. Um so yeah, there's a ton of like, I mean, I think if you're at all interested in friendship, you've probably seen the friendship research that has floated around the internet about how people are lonely, people are isolated, how the village has completely deteriorated, and that I think that whole idea of village deterioration has even predated this whole idea of like people being more lonely than ever. Um, but that kind of social atrophy of circles that you move in socially and the richness of a village and a community that we don't have anymore, that I think also a lot of people are coming to return to. Um, yeah, I think that's really what I want to capture with this, that daily framework, the daily practice of being a friend, just being a friend. Um, so yeah, I'm doing this publicly. I'm more than likely do periodic updates. And as I said, I did want to create a way for y'all to join me if you were interested. So what I am going to do is drop the link in the description box below. I have put together all of my prompts, um, or I'm in the process of putting all of them together right now. And all of my prompts, all of my reflections, my track code I'm going to be using, I am putting all of that together in a starter kit. And the link will be in the description box below if you want to grab that for $47 and you want to join me. I still need to figure out a name, by the way. So if y'all have any good name ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments too. Because I was thinking to do something similar to 75 hard or like 75 soft or 75 fluid. And so I like was going back and forth with ChatGPT and Claude on this, and nothing really stuck. Like I thought about Village 75 or 75 Village, or yeah, I don't know. I don't know. 75 Belonging. I don't know. Both of those don't feel quite right. So if y'all have any ideas, feel free to suggest. Feel free to suggest, y'all. Um, but yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I hope you'll join me. Go ahead and grab the starter kit in the description box below. Leave a comment with a name idea. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions, or you can drop them in the comments below as well. And thank you for joining me on this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.